Welcome to the 4th of July with the veteran. So, I've been telling everybody that I'm doing this. I'm recording a video of the fireworks with me experiencing them. If you guys didn't know, which I'm sure you probably do by now, veterans tend not to really like fireworks. It reminds us of a lot of stuff, and if you can see, right there it is. Those are the fireworks. The distance that they are from here is roughly about 2 miles. Maybe 2.5. And personally, I've actually been shot at with a mortar at a much closer range. So to set up today, I actually went and bought a beer. I'm not a drinker, but that's been my old standby. Bought a beer, large beer, and a small bourbon, because if you're gonna be drinking, might as well be drinking American, right? Anyways, the fireworks have been going off around my house now for about an hour. The ones that you can barely see, nah, you probably can't see them from here. I'm sure you can hear them though. For me, fireworks have always been very difficult because I experienced mortar shelling every night while I was in Iraq for probably about 300 of the 360 days I was there. Jesus. And to be honest with you, yeah, that's the other thing. We're also right next to an airfield, so you'll hear planes and whatnot go by, which doesn't help the situation. Jesus. God. So right now, I actually feel like I'm ready to go to battle. I feel like I should be wearing my frag vest, and I should be carrying a rifle. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I did beforehand was to actually unarm, because I don't know how I'm going to react while these things are going off. And then about 4 minutes ago, I actually went back and got my pistol. I can't do these kind of noises without having some sort of means of defense. And so far it's been not too bad. It's normally the louder bangs that get me. We've also had a couple fireworks over by, you can't see, but let's see here. Can't tell, this area here, that's all a shopping center, which has been great because I feel like I've got some sort of barrier, but you know, there's downsides to that too. I've kept checking the rooftops for snipers, because that's what happens when you see fireworks. These haven't actually been that bad. The ones that we had about an hour ago, which were coming in all directions, were a heck of a lot worse. They sounded a lot more like gunfire. And the shopping center had somebody set off some white phosphorus cracklers near the corners of their building, which has been really close, which instantly transported me back to River Patrol. I was out one night, and I believe I was with Gabriel Rivera that particular night. My buddy Harley was also on the boat. We had pulled over and stopped for a little bit, and Gabriel and I hopped out to go use the restroom. And excuse me, no, he already knows. Okay, so we had stopped, and Gabriel Rivera and myself had gone out to go use the restroom, and while we were there, we saw some white smoke, white phosphorus go up, and I think they were looking at us. Honestly, that was the safe side. It was our team looking to see what we were doing, but nobody ended up getting injured. But still a scary situation when you're out in the middle of the desert and you hear stories about Pat Tillman and various other friendly fire stuff. Jesus. That one sounded like a gunshot. I've got so much adrenaline going through my body right now. It's actually miraculous that I can hold the camera with any kind of steadiness. Jesus fuck. Alright, if you hear, most of those bangs are actually coming from the other side, in front of me, not behind me. If you saw that right there, right there, that kind of looks like what happens when we light up smoke and it's over in the distance. Normally they don't go up so high because they're used to track localized activity. So when you see things like that, you know that either our guys are going into a fight or their guys are going into a fight against our guys. See the clouds, how they light up with every larger impact? Well, the same is true when mortars hit. The sky lights up like that, but normally it's a redder shade, and to be honest with you, it's much more terrifying. I gotta say, I gotta say that the worst, though, hands down, has got to be the whistling ones when they're a dud. There is nothing scarier than that. You hear that thing go off, if you don't hear any bang, you don't know where it's coming down. When those are mortars, it gets really scary. I had nightmares last night that I was back in Tikrit, and the guys that deployed with me will be able to back you up on this. We used to have a room that a couple of guys built this giant risk board on. And more often than not, when the mortars were going off, we'd all pile down into that room and just sit in the corners and hope nothing fell on us, which that is more frightening than anything else. Ooh. Okay, you see that red? Oh, so close. See how the clouds just went red there? That's what a firefight looks like off in the distance. Not so much the sparkly stuff here, but the reflection on the clouds when they get red. That's what the firefight looks like. One of the earlier stops that we had done when we were out in the middle of nowhere, we were close to a ammunition dump that our guys blew up to keep out of enemy hands, and that kind of display right there is exactly what it looked like. Oh man. So we're 11 minutes in. I think what they're doing is they're slowing down for the grand finale, which I am not excited for at all. This whole day has just been a freaking nightmare. Been antsy. You can tell the shakes are just coursing through me. Do any of you remember Dr. Katz? I kind of feel like Dr. Katz right now. Those louder bangs, those are the ones that really get to us. At least to me. God. Because over there, when you hear things like that, it's your buddies dying. It's good American soldiers getting killed. So needless to say, I've got a slew of emotions going on right now. Fear, anger, sorrow. It's all mixed in, and it's just wreaking havoc on me. It's sad to admit this, but oh God, sad to admit. Jesus. It is sad to admit this, but right now, there's no doubt in my mind that I am ready to kill. This is what we went into. You could see the sky light up like this. See all the devastation. The very first town that we went, well, we didn't really go into it because it wasn't standing once we got there. We were outside of a town, probably about the size of, well, nobody around the country knows offhand because our cities are way too big. It was a little town, a suburb, and it was at the beginning of the war. We had just gotten done with, I want to say 24 hours of driving, and we still had another 12 to go. And we rolled up onto a town. They told us to stop the convoy because they had to clear the town before we went through it. And for the following 2 hours, I sat on top of my truck and watched missiles go over my head and land in the town, and they looked just like this. Fuck. By the time that we got to the town, there wasn't really a building standing. And yeah, we announced, hey, we're going to flatten this place an hour beforehand. If you had 1 hour to get out of your town, what would you do? Yesterday I was actually in the middle of writing a story when some fireworks went off, and I was sitting at my computer, typing away, and the firework went off, and I kept typing. That's how ingrained it is in us that I even duck when I'm not paying attention to a firework, or not paying attention to what's going on around me. That even when a slight sound, it doesn't even register in my conscious thought, I hit the ground. It's funny, I'm looking through the lens, basically seeing that town just get wiped out again, and various other towns that we went through. And it's almost surreal seeing it on a screen instead of seeing it right before my eyes. Got to admit, I'm taking this 4th of July a heck of a lot better than I thought I would, and a heck of a lot better than I have in the past. I'm kind of hoping that in the future, this becomes a tool, if you will, for other veterans, so that instead of having to explain why they hate 4th of July, they have a video that they can show their loved ones or other people. And I'll be honest with you, this has not been easy. My heart's about ready to burst. I'm still shaking like a leaf, and yeah, I'm still kind of scared crapless, and it's extremely difficult trying to capture on film exactly what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking, because my thoughts right now are going a million miles an hour. Those sound so much like gunfire, it's not even funny. Somebody's doing it right in front of me too, on the other side. So now the sky in front of me in that direction is lighting up the same way that it did in that direction. I apologize. I expected myself to be able to explain a lot more than what I can. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. Sometimes PTSD is just unexplainable. Well, I think we've seen the last of it. I survived. Can't complain with that. So this has been 4th of July with a veteran. Want to reiterate what I had said earlier today. Veterans do not want you to stop celebrating. We just want you to do it in a reasonable and respectful way. So please, set off the fireworks. Just try not to do it near our houses, I guess. Please. Obviously, this could be a lot worse overall I didn't freak out as bad as I have in the past, which is good. Hell, since I'm, what else can I do to embarrass myself? I'll tell you, this one time we were up in Mackinac Island with a few friends of mine. The CCP, they know who they are. Anyways, we were up there. I think it was for some big weekend. Anyways, they had fireworks there, and my friend Jimmy actually had to, once I got home, and once I was freaking out on the fireworks, my brother Jimmy had to pull me out of a closet, because I was sitting in a closet with a knife about as big as your arm, just waiting for the enemy to come in. I was prepared to kill that night. So glad it was Jimmy that came in. Anybody else probably would have had a much harder time than him. Anyways, so this has been 4th of July with a veteran. Remember, folks, the issues that are affecting veterans, holy shit. The issues that are facing veterans are issues that involve you, that affect you. And if you want to do right by yourself, start doing right by the veteran. Happy 4th of July.